I want to talk to you about a new member of our party, Becca Plenderleith. She's a bright, intelligent and brave young woman. We are fortunate to call her a fellow Liberal Democrat. She has given me permission to tell you this story. What she did was something quite simple. She told her story. She wrote about her experience of the health service. Only a few years ago, she was suffering from depression, and following a breakup from her boyfriend, she considered suicide. What happened next is something that must be condemned to the past. She was told by a doctor at accident emergency that she was a drain on the NHS. No support, no treatment, just a lecture. But Becca is making a difference by speaking out. And the response is encouraging. Every time I now mention mental health on a public platform, the silent nods around the room fill me with hope. Hope that the stigma is fading. Hope that there is a growing demand for change. Hope that this will lead to the unstoppable change to our NHS so that mental health is given the equal support that it deserves. But we need more than nods to make change. We cannot wait any longer for change. For Becca, for thousands of people who are crying out for help, and for the many who cannot be heard anymore because we were simply too late. For all their sakes, we need change and we need it now. We want the best for people with mental health problems. Scotland used to be amongst the best in the world for so many things. That's what the next 5 years have got to be about, to make us the best again. At our heart, Liberal Democrats want every individual to achieve their potential. To be the best, we need the skills, talents and creativity of everyone who lives here, to participate in the economy and society, to feel that they belong. Diversity and education will be the twin engines that drive invention and creativity to enrich our country and provide a bright, liberal future. Our economy needs a Scotland where we can draw on the well-educated and trained talents of people from all backgrounds. Scotland needs to get the benefit of the diverse talents of everyone to be the best. That means there should be opportunity for everyone, whatever their background. That is the vision for Scotland to which the Liberal Democrats will devote the next 5 years. That's the Liberal vision. We need real change now so Scotland can be the best again. Because what we have now is just not good enough for Scotland. On education, once proud, now slipping down the global rankings according to the OECD. On climate change, once world-beating targets, now failing to meet them year on year. On policing, once locally accountable with local policing by consent, now a shadow of its former self. On mental health, once a world-leading strategy, now we don't even have one, and people are waiting for an age for treatment. Scotland needs change to be the best, but this SNP government is refusing to act. Scotland can't wait for a vague promise of change at some point over the horizon. The SNP are paralysed on tax, even when they now have the power in their hands, even now when they have the chance. They have chosen to cut education rather than use the new powers to invest in it. They prefer to talk about climate change targets than take action to exceed them. They have failed to fund mental health services even though the waiting times grow. Frozen to the spot, afraid to do anything in case it damages the cause of independence. My message today is that it doesn't have to be like this. We can build a country where children from all backgrounds get the best chance to succeed, where our civil liberties are valued and celebrated, where our police are allowed to do their job they were trained for, to keep us safe, where we pass on the environment to our children in a better state than we inherited it, where power is shared across the country rather than hoarded in Holyrood, where people with poor mental health are treated as swiftly as everyone else. I want us to battle to be the best. I want to live in a country that has ambition to be the best in the world, not just the best in Britain. We don't have to wait. We can build that country now. We need to get Scotland fit for the future, to be the best again. Now, a Liberal Democrat's speech from Willie Rennie would not be complete without a reference to Dunfermline. But I have a real excuse this time. 10 years ago this month, we won Dunfermline. Yeah, go on. You know, I draw inspiration from that wonderful victory. The right message, the best team, and an outstanding candidate. And this year, we have outstanding candidates who can win too. Katie Gordon in the west of Scotland, Chris Chapman in the south of Scotland, Alex Cole-Hamilton and Hannah Betsworth in Edinburgh and the Lothians, Peter Barrett in mid-Scotland and Fife, Christine Jardine, Mike Rumbles in the north east, Jamie Stone, Carlin Caddick, Angela McLean in the Highlands, Robert Brown and Paul McGarry in Glasgow and Central. They are all leading vigorous campaigns to win, to bolster our brilliant team in Holyrood. Alison McInnes has been quite remarkable. She has been quite remarkable. You're absolutely right to applaud. Her record on human rights and on justice and on the police, it was recognised as outstanding at the Herald Politician of the Year Awards. Liam MacArthur led the charge on the Universities Bill, on nursery education, on national testing and so much more. Tavish Scott on the fiscal framework, on the Smith Commission, on farming payments, on flights to the Northern Isles, at his feisty best. And Jim Hume has led the way on mental health and GPs and has successfully piloted a new law to ban smoking in cars with children. Jim, children will have a healthier future thanks to you. A team that punches well above its weight. If you ever needed shining examples of why we need even more Liberal Democrats, just observe our team of parliamentarians in Holyrood. They have achieved more in the last 5 years than all the SNP backbenchers put together. Thank you, our great Liberal team. We have a team in 2016 that punches well above its weight. And if you need a second opinion, just look at the Conservatives. The Scottish Conservatives have spent £500,000 writing to people asking for support to be the opposition. Well, they have wasted their money and your time. They are no opposition. The SNP and the Tories are two peas in a pod. The very idea of two parliaments at Westminster and Holyrood, dominated by those two, is an utterly dismal prospect that won't help Scotland be the best. The Tories, with their harsh welfare policies, callous treatment of refugees, slashing of renewable energy, and their massive economic gamble on the future of the European Union. The SNP, who are only interested in getting independence and have let everything slide while they're distracted with that. And worst of all, both of them are completely united in wanting to keep the country divided. They need each other. They feed off each other. More Nats in Edinburgh helps the Tories in London with their scare stories. The Tories in London help the Nats in Edinburgh with their scare stories. They both want to keep the divisions going. The only parties that you'll find who want another argument about independence in this campaign is the Tories and the SNP. That's what they want. And it is into that dismal scene on this rancid prospectus. That's where we must come in. We say no more. We say it is time to move on from the divisions in our country. We will put the division behind us. We will put the whole of Scotland first. Not just the no people or the yes people. We will put perpetual conflict behind us. We want the best for Scotland. A united Scotland is the best for Scotland. And they're at it again this week, working together to stop our penny for education. Murdo Fraser told Holyrood he'd formed a Taxpayers Alliance with the SNP. John Swinney said the Tories were lobby fodder for the SNP. They laughed and they clapped together as they cut £500 million from local councils. The SNP songbook used to only have one song in it. If we only had the power. But now they do have the powers, they still won't use them. They have picked up the Tory songbook. What have they got in it? The first cut is the deepest. But the second, third and fourth aren't bad either. I fought the Lawson and the Lawson won. Same tunes about taxation is theft and cuts are a price worth paying, and colleges, the more we cut, the more they do. John Swinney might even be singing in the bath like Norman Lamont. Je dinna regret hee-haw. So the Scottish Conservative leader is simply making it up about opposition. This party has not gone soft on independence. But unlike her, we accept the result of the referendum and we are moving on. She is determined to open up, for our own benefit, the deep wounds the campaign caused. The Tories just do not care. They should stick that on their postcard and apologise to the people of Scotland. Tomorrow, we have a chance to agree that at every election in the future, we will have a team of candidates that looks more like our diverse Scotland than we have ever done before. We debate what targets we set for ourselves for future parliamentary selections. For 20 years, I have watched only a handful of women MPs and MSPs get elected under our banner. It is not good enough for this progressive party. With the support of people who were previously opposed to the measures in the motion, we have a package for change. If you back my motion tomorrow, we will send a powerful signal to liberal-minded women across Scotland that we are serious about change and that they are welcome in our party. I want to win again. To win again, we need to be more like the people we seek to represent. To win, we need to change. I am asking you to come with me and back my motion. For Scotland to be the best again, we need the best education in the world again. The OECD tells us we are slipping down the international standing on education. This government has slashed 152,000 places from colleges. It is cutting school budgets too. It can't even get more than 7% of 2-year-olds into nursery classes. With the investment of 1 penny on income tax, we can secure a £475 million return. You'll know that our investment, the penny for education, will be spent on expanding nursery education, implementing a pupil premium, stopping cuts to schools and repairing cuts to colleges. Those are our 4 priorities for children and young people. Today I can announce the details of what that funding will do so that people know what they will get for their winning investment. We will invest £170 million in our schools with a pupil premium. This will be paid directly to schools to raise attainment every year. It will be worth £1,400 for every pupil who needs extra support at primary, wherever they live in the country, and £900 for every secondary pupil from a disadvantaged background. Our pupil premium will put money into every classroom. Every school gets money for children from poorer backgrounds. And look at what it might mean. A primary school like Aboyne could get £43,000 more. In Dunoon, Woodhill and Bishopbriggs, East Craigs in Edinburgh, Castlehill and Cooper, Dingwall, Papdale and Orkney, Eyemouth, all of them could get more than £60,000. That's enough for more teachers, for one-to-one help, for homework clubs, or for extra equipment. Secondary schools will benefit too. Oban would get another £170,000. Inverurie, £45,000. Bellbaxter, £124,000. Wick, £114,000. Anderson High and Lerwick, £38,000. Peebles, £94,000. That's how you close the attainment gap. By making the investment, by giving the life chances, by backing up your words with actions. Imagine the transformational effect this will have. In fact, you don't have to imagine, because when Liberal Democrats brought this in England, it closed the attainment gap by 5 percentage points in just 3 years. It raised attainment for everyone. Raising attainment, raising productivity, schools giving every child the best chance in life. That's the Liberal Democrat commitment on education. And I make a direct appeal to people who have supported Labour but are not impressed by the leadership of Jeremy Corbyn. You can back our progressive plans in May to make your voice heard with us. Liberal Democrats are big-hearted, open-minded, outward-looking, caring and compassionate. We are for the aspirational with a social conscience. We care about the people next door, across the world, or in the future. At our heart, Liberal Democrats want every individual to achieve their potential. We stand with the weak against the strong. We will use the power of government to tackle the social and economic injustices that limit freedom. We say power is safer when it is shared, and will trust communities and individuals with the power to control their own lives and the right to participate in their democracy. We are trustees of the world and our society and must pass on a sustainable legacy which will benefit future generations. To be the best, we need the best healthcare. So we need to reverse the decline in the NHS. That's why we support a step change in mental health services, the recruitment of more GPs and better social care. To be the best, the planet must be protected. So we need to meet Scotland's climate change targets. That's why we support action on climate change, including warmer homes, better public transport and stopping open cast coal. To be the best, our civil liberties must be guaranteed, whether it be on the excessive use of stop and search and police or an intrusive super ID database. To be the best, we need to reflect the rich diversity of the country. So we must bring an end to stripping power from local communities and hoarding it in Holyrood. That's why we support a reform programme that includes power transferred to local communities and empowering police, nurses, doctors and teachers to do their job. So to be the best, we need a strong economy, fair tax and good public services. That's why we support continued membership of the European Union, a reformed tax system that makes work pay and investment in good public services. And finally, to be the best, we will move on from the independence debate to bring unity, healing the divisions of the referendum. We all need to move on to bring the country together to be the best again. We will use this election campaign to show liberal-minded people the true value of liberal-minded members of the Scottish Parliament. We will remind people from where we come. Joe Grimmond, David Steele, Charles Kennedy, Ming Campbell, Ray Meahy, Jim Wallace. Inspirational people of outstanding calibre. We will tell them what we have done. Invented the NHS and the welfare state. Opposed the Iraq war. Fought and won free tuition, free personal care, free dental and eye checks in Scotland, tax cuts for workers and a growing economy. Of course our opponents will point to the mistakes, but we will stand proud on our achievements and we will tell people where we are going. To be the best again. We will lift Scotland up from the divisions of the referendum and start winning again. Scotland is a country of winners, so we can have the best healthcare, so we can enjoy the freedom that comes with our deep-rooted civil liberties, so we can celebrate meeting our climate change targets, and so we can once again have the best education in the world. We can be the best again if we are bold, bright, liberal and green. So if you want change, if you want things to be better, if you want to get Scotland fit for the future, if you want Scotland to be the best again, then back the Liberal Democrats.